Hello, overleveled tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Final Fantasy. Nothing to talk about today. We're going right into it with Jack Garland. I got a couple more level ups, fighting some Agamas. You know the drill if you saw the last episode. Real quick summary. Last episode we learned that luck was not actually a dump stat, and that it is in fact perhaps the most important stat for the Ice Cave besides being able to cast Fire too. And float and warp and all that stuff. So, today, we're going to beat this dumb dungeon. I have grinded more than I would like. We are now definitely 100% overleveled beyond a doubt. But my perspective I've been trying to stay positive, and rather than saying Dark Knight sucks and the Ice Cave is stupid, let's say the Dark Knight is really good at grinding against Agamas, and can get to level 50 as soon as you get the canoe, if you want. And although I was originally trying to show this as a not overleveled run, where we got to demonstrate him at somewhat level appropriate values for given dungeons, yeah, there is no level appropriate there's no level appropriate value for the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is dumb. In one more level, we will get another attack with our weapon. It doesn't matter. If you didn't see the last episode, our number of swings and DPS make no difference. We kill everything. Our armor is good. Our luck is bad. Our agility has actually grown a fair bit. I will give him that his agility growths are fairly solid. Strength is good. Agility is decent. It's really just the luck that's terrible. And that, unfortunately, is kind of the thing we need in here. Now, the main thing is, at level 44, we've surpassed 100 magic defense, which should mean the on-hit effects no longer affect us. Also, birds just run away from us now, which is great. I wish I had that power in real life. Wizards also run away. Pretty much everything can run away, even undead like images and wraiths, although they won't always run away. Now, these guys will never run away, but in theory, their on-hit effect no longer kills us. They could still stun us, though. But we definitely kill them if we hit them. So, one sorcerer, obviously not the huge problem. I still don't really care about trying run chances. But I'm going to test out here if we can get stunned. And as far as I know, 100 magic defense should make us immune to on-hit effects. We will science that out a little bit today. Last episode, I did spend about 45 minutes trying to get through the Ice Cave. I'll tell you when we get to our record. I don't like this. Oh good, they do run away. Right, it's the mages that don't run away. Sorcerers are gonna flee. Yeah, sorry. I mixed them up. Preemptive strike means I run away, I guess. Do I care about the flame sword? No. Chance. Oh, the enemy ambush. Okay. This is a great opportunity to find out if we get stunned. The thing is, once we get to the point where enemies will run away from us, including wraiths, these fights, even if we were stun locked, are, assuming we have enough armor, they actually mean we can't lose, as long as their run chance is somewhat reasonable. Because they can stun lock me, but eventually they will all run away. Although the odds of that, I think they have 160 morale. So even if we were at level 50, it would take them down to 60 morale. And that's about a 40% chance to run, I believe. But that's pretty high at that point. That means we're at like 20% chance to run maybe right now. Something like that. Anyway, we are now a new record for distance. I tried for almost an hour last episode and we did not get this far. Hooray! New record. Deep breath, blue. Deep breath, blue. So there's exactly one fight that can kill us. And there it is. I don't think there's any other encounter in this dungeon that can kill us anymore. I'm trying not to talk bad about the Dark Knight, and he is super killy. And in a party of 4, this is not really an issue. I don't know. I don't think there's any point trying to run. Okay, we technically won. I don't know why those things have perfect morale. They're way over leveled for this dungeon. Those spellcasters are just... Ice Cave is tough, but those guys are outscaling like crazy. They have spells your party can only dream of at this level. Now, with all our extra levels in magic defense, I think the odds of Rub hitting are relatively small now. But they're definitely not 0. It would be great if you could find a protect ring or something that protected you from stun before the ice game, even just for one person. Like in a party of 4, it wouldn't make these fights easy, but you could at least put them on your white mage in a normal balanced party, and then they couldn't get insta killed, and then basically, you know, force a TPK later on. Sure, this fight should be fine. We actually resist ice. Oh, we didn't one-shot the giant? Rude. So, yeah, Ice Cave. Pretty bad for Dark Knight. Maybe the worst class for it. I don't know. I've done this on a lot of solo runs. This legitimately might be the worst one yet. I don't know. The Evoker was rough. This is also a new record, so we're getting there. We can't use shields. Ice Shield is garbage. This fight's not guaranteed, because Glance could have killed us. He can either attack, use Glance, or Quad X. Quad X we would have been immune to, but theoretically, because we're over 300 HP, we should be immune. But I do think if you grind all the way to level 45, you should, with anybody with over 100 magic defense, the Ice Cave should be reasonably easy at this point. Well, maybe not literally everyone, but once you can't be stun locked, as long as you can run away or kill the enemies, you don't have much to worry about. But some characters have much worse armor, and I guessed wrong. I thought it was the bottom run that cast Rub, because it won't be the same enemy that does the spell twice in a row. They always go Rub and then Lightning 3, Fire 3, Ice 3, or whatever. I definitely promise this is mostly a not difficult dungeon to dive now that we have level 45 on the Dark Knight. But I think I can say that the luck stat is way more important here than I thought originally. I may have made a mistake. Dark Knight should have grinded luck early. And that's a bit of a finicky thing to reset levels until you get the stats you need, but I mean, I actually think once we get through here, the game will be a piece of cake. But Earth was brutal, and Ice is even worse, so for a solo Dark Knight, I can't think of any other way to make these dungeons palatable other than having ridiculously high levels or some stat maxing for luck. Because what else could we do, right? I think we just try to kill them. I don't I don't know what our run chance is, but I don't think it's very good. And we only had to survive one rub rather than two, which if we'd failed to run, we would have had to get hit by both. Maybe that'll be our only mage encounter this time, right? They're not super common encounters. I mean, there's enough of them, but... Sure. There's the rare encounter. Roaming Ice Drake. Yeah, you better run. Come on, Jack. At least we're making a distance here, you know? Last episode, you know, like I said, we never made it past the drop down, really. So, you know, this is at least looking feasible. Whereas last time, we never got even close to the floor. We barely got to open the door to this room most of the runs we did. That was a preemptive. This shouldn't matter. Yeah. And I don't think there's mages on this floor, so we should have won right there. This is the first floor. I'm pretty sure there's no mages here. Fairly sure. Because mages are basically drow. They should be deep underground. That's the thing, right? So technically this was only like 10 minutes. Maybe 4 or 5 attempts. That's on the easy side for Ice Cave. So, you know, just grind to level 45 and it's easy. I'm actually really upset that I had to do that. I guess I could have cut the grind earlier and tried it at like mid-30s or something. And it's hard to evaluate how much easier or harder it would be. At level 24, which we did grind to technically, it seemed basically impossible. So somewhere between 24 and 45, it goes from practically impossible to, well, not easy, but decent enough for a solo ice cave challenge. Which is kind of insane, but hey, you know what? It's done. Things are about to get fun, right? Also, we have infinite money, so no need to worry about that. One of the perks of grinding all those Agamas. Alright, priority. Level up, or promote up, I guess is the word. Get me my advanced skills, please. Then we buy the bottle. Then we get the fairy. The Oxyale. Buy some spells that we may or may not use. I guess we should show you guys the promoted skills in case you didn't know. It's kind of a shame. I really did want to do this without crazy grinding, but it just wasn't looking like we spent way too long last episode with no progress. Soul Eater is pretty cool. It would have been nice earlier. It's kind of weaker. I mean, it's still okay. This is another one. I've talked about this before. A lot of the new Renaissance jobs, well, just any Renaissance, including the edits to the starting jobs, but basically anyone that has skills in Renaissance, which is all classes, I kind of think most of their skills should not be promotion locked. Like, I like the idea of having cool stuff that unlocks as promotion, but weapons, armor, magic already does that, including some skills that seem kind of core for the class. I'm not sure is quite right. I think they should power up at promotion. Maybe you have this, because it scales on your HP. So early game, you don't do very much damage, but as you level up, or, you know, your HP goes up, it becomes more and more effective. So if you start with it in the early game, it's not even going to do tremendous damage. Plus, heals undead. A lot of the problem enemies in the early game are undead anyway. So if you just started with it, it's no big deal. But maybe it could have a 2-turn fatigue or something. And then when you promote, it's 1 turn. Anyway, we get it, but it's kind of a little bit too late. And affecting blind on enemies is the main thing anyway. The damage is not even the big deal. We basically had nearly 0 odds of darkness hitting because of how status works. So this is the way to actually apply darkness. And, well, we only get it at the point where it doesn't matter because, like, even if we weren't level 45, we're at the point where we hit hard. We don't need that bonus anyway. But, like, in a normal run, you probably promoted maybe early 20s or something. But that's still at the point where the Dark Knight is already just fine. You know, it's just gravy. We do get our limit. I have never seen this limit do anything, but that's because I've never done a solo run with a Dark Knight. I think this might be the only time this works. But in theory, we drain HP when we get hit. We can also go eat bats. This is another thing I think you should start with, honestly. Because we have to backtrack now, which is annoying. I'd rather not backtrack and just consume bats as you go. But that's fine. I think I also said I wish we got resist death at promotion. We are a death knight. So it kind of makes sense you could resist death. Because even if you can't, even if you don't get it for free, promotion means you have an airship. And airship means you resist death. So why don't I just save the inventory slot for one character and 20k, and then it doesn't matter, right? Like, I don't think this changes very much. But it would be a nice little ribbon, right? I mean, speaking of ribbons, we're gonna go get a ribbon. But I do think that's a minor effect that would be pretty nice for Death Knights. We can look at some new swords, though. I think we want the Onyx Sword. I mean, I'm going to buy it either way. We are actually losing 10% hit rate to get more damage. And I am 1 level from another swing. Maybe I want that. Although we only have 15% hit to go. So we actually need to be very nearly level 50 to get max swings on the Onyx Greatsword. Let me double check my list here. Is there anything else Greatsword-wise that is comparable? Yeah, there's a better one with lower hit rate. It's questionably better in the Floating Castle. There's another one in the Waterfall that's perhaps better as well. Yeah, the Onyx one is a bit of a side grade, oddly enough. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's get that fairy turn in. I should buy my black magic while I'm here as well, because we'll be doing all that. I mean, there's a few things we have to do anyway. I think we'll be going for the, I need to go eat some bats, is what I need to do. But I need to get the ribbon first, because, well, now that I'm mostly immune to statuses, but I need to be fully immune to statuses. Alright, there's one of our weaker spells. I think I talked about this a bit earlier on, too. I think the Dark Knight spells could use a slight upgrade. Maybe Bio 3, honestly. Like, it doesn't exist. But maybe Bio 3 at level 5 or 6 would be worth it. I mean, it wouldn't have helped much in the Ice Cave, but I mean, maybe it's too strong for him. I don't know. I kind of get the idea that the martial classes aren't supposed to get the tier 3 elemental spells. But, like, it's it's hard to imagine that breaking things that much. Poison as a sweeper is not that amazing. Besides, we're more of a single target focus anyway. You're probably better off swinging your sword than doing 200 damage with Bio, but I don't know. You could basically just say Bio 3 is the same strength as Fire 3 or something. And because he has less intelligence, he's still not competing with Black Wizard's Fire 3 damage, you know. And the effect of poison, it's such a tiny damage over time that it doesn't really matter either. That's not too big. And it really is commonly resisted, like, that's kind of how it is. Cabin up. We're gonna get the ribbon first, and then we'll go for bats, other than the bats that are on the way. But these are vitality bats. Unfortunately, and this is one of the reasons why I was trying not to overlevel, these bats are basically worthless. Sure, every 4 will give me 1 HP per level. So 5 levels to go. In theory, every 4 bats is 5 hit points. I don't... Oh, Squint is, potentially, it's not a hit. What am I trying to say? It is not an on-hit, on-attacks effect. It's like a skill or a spell, and that could still hit us and kill us. Well, no. Actually, it couldn't, because we've got the Protect Ring. But I'm trying to avoid things that can just murder me. Because we're so close to the ribbon. Hey, even the mummies run away. There is also that, by over-leveling, enemies just run away from us, so we don't even get to see, like, how strong Jack is, because he's over-leveled. There's the Coral Greatsword, there's the ribbon. Okay, that's the big one. Now we resist all elements, all statuses. Big, big, big upgrade. And the Coral Greatsword is kind of in between these two. It's got less crit. It's definitely going to be good in the Water Shrine, because it'll have bonus damage to Aquatic. Although someone told me it's like +8 damage if it's effective, which when you're already hitting for like 70 isn't actually a huge upgrade, oddly enough. We do want that there. Defense sword for buff. Also, I think I learned... It says all. See, the wall spell, I believe, doesn't apply water and wind protection. So if you were using the wall spell to give resistances, it's a small utility to equip this, but it's still very rare that enemies will ever use water damage. But I was trying to think of when that might be useful. Also, I should show off Soul Eater. It doesn't work against undead, of course. Everything's gonna run away. Doesn't even matter. Hope you're proud, video game. Forced me to grind. Now we're too high a level. Everything just runs away from us. Although we do have a way, we do have a thing we can do with that as well, right? We can cast a spell that prevents enemies from escaping. Well, we got another level up without... The good news is we get another swing. The bad news is I didn't eat my bats in time, so... We just level up too fast. Okay, Bat Hunt. I will also pick up our bonus quest in Onrak, because at some point, if we want our final Death Knight skill, we need to take 1,000 damage in combat without dying, obviously, because game over. Now, I haven't tried that solo before. We don't have a lot of healing. Well, we actually have somewhat decent healing, but it requires us to kill enemies. So it's a little tricky how I'm going to make this work. I think we get as much HP as we can from bats, and then we try to get the skill. I also need to not die here. By the way. Does the limit drains HP from any attackers based off all melee damage to this character while in effect? Where's all... It doesn't say it doesn't work against undead. The blood weapon did say that. But in theory, this is a way to heal up a fair bit. For free. Hey, Soul Eater can kill things. Nice. Let me get some lovely Final Fantasy V music. The problem with Soul Eater, as always, is you take a lot of damage, and we don't have a healer, so... Death Knight solo... That's why I don't think it'd be a big deal if you start with that ability, because healing is kind of expensive early game too, right? So... even though the damage is somewhat reasonable, I think you could start with that skill right from the beginning. See, I can't run. Like, I literally, this is why I failed in Ice Cave. You cannot run away with this guy. He is just, he's got lead feet. I wonder why the wizard mummies are running away, but the normal mummies are not. It's kind of weird. I guess we're gonna be eating some potions. Okay, science. Do mummies somehow have more morale than wiz mummies? 172. That's pretty high. Yeah. Wow. Wow. I would never have guessed. Wiz mummies, the advanced mummies, the higher level mummies, actually have lower morale. They run earlier. Also weird, they do sleep status, but it's poison element, not status element. So if you had equipment that give you poison protection, like the Aegis Shield, or that one weird hat that the thief can steal, that would protect you from their sleep effects. I wonder if it's like that in NES or not. It's a weird, weird combination. Alright. Oh, whatever. I just saved it. Can't make me fight it. So I think I got all the bats in there. There are more vitality bats to go, though. I'm gonna make a pit stop here in Onrak. How's my heal potions? Fine. The guy in the graveyard has a quest for us. Take 1,000 damage, don't die. Okay. I will try. Here, have a very bad spell. I mean, blind is a nice effect for us. We like enemies being blinded. But power word blind means they have to be 300 HP or less and not resistant to status element. Which means, they're probably dead. What's an Ankylo? You also have to know their HP. So you can't even use it on an Ankylo because they have 352. So you could try Darkness. It doesn't matter, they're just gonna run. Yeah, of course. So, setting up Dark, even less useful. Okay. We are promoted. While I'm thinking about it, let's pick up our extra spells. Bane is, you know, situationally pretty good on some things. I don't think I ever got my level 6 magic. We're also, you know, mega leveled, so we can definitely cast these if we need to. Still very questionable value, those two. And more bats. I think it's Bat Quest first. I'm just gonna get the freebie bats that don't have any encounters. And now we finally get some luck. So you see, this is kind of why I was thinking if you started with Eat Bats as a Dark Knight, it would make a huge difference. Like, rather than saving all your stat gains for post-promotion, you would just have to hunt these down at low levels, which isn't hard, but most dungeons, that's like taking extra encounters, basically. Which makes the dungeons a bit longer, a little bit more spicy. The Marsh Bats, you might not want to do when you first do Marsh, because it's still a pretty deadly dungeon. And you might get a couple on your way through, but you might not want to stick around to actually farm them all up. Or it would just give you a reason to actually full clear Marsh, which is something... I think at low levels, there should be more incentives to clear this dungeon, because it always feels a little bit bad to backtrack when you're super high level. Whereas staying in a difficult dungeon but getting some permanent stat bonuses out of it might be appealing, honestly. So I think if you did a New Game Plus run, this would feel pretty nice. There's no bats inside any of the doors here, right? Okay. But yeah, once we get, I don't know, 20 or 30 luck bats, whatever number there is, our run chance should it's really annoying that, you know, we don't have access to this until after it matters, you know? Ice Cave is the main place you want to run away. After that, it doesn't matter too much. And also, our level is so high that, like, I don't know. What are we going to fight in the Water Shrine you need to run away from? You can't run from ghosts. We can fight down most things. You can't run from waters. Can't run from sahogs. So you're just running from, like, lobsters and stuff, which is fine, but I'm pretty sure we can kill them reasonably well anyway. That's not the kind of enemy I'm scared of, really. And just, you know, Zeus's Gauntlet will kind of handle a lot of those fights if we need it. In other news, I was watching some more Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizers. If you haven't been following that one, it's relatively new. But there's some really nice... They're working on it. It's getting a lot of updates. I noticed recently they added a location shuffler. It used to just be like item shuffles and monster skill shuffles, but they're just like the FF1 randomizer. It's very interesting watching the programmers, the team, whatever, the guys doing the hacking, the professional hackers. It's been very interesting watching them add features to these things and make the randomizers better and better, and just more flags and customizability. It's pretty cool. I will have to showcase it off eventually, because I'm not, like, super proficient in Mystic Quest, but it is a good game. Technically not even really a Final Fantasy game. It's a Sega game. You know, if you played anything in Sega, it's got the old man that's technically the final boss. It's got a giant tower. It's all the Sega tropes, basically. One party member, not always like that, but relatively common, with the other people that join and leave. Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 on the Game Boy are also Sega games, technically. And then eventually after that, they started calling them just like Unlimited Sega, and I think Romancing Sega was out on, but they're all a different series of games that is not the same as Final Fantasy. Sure, I'm talking to people who know probably, but anyway, Mystic Quest, good game. One of the easier Sega games, to be sure. And back when Final Fantasy was all the rage, you gotta slap its name on everything. So these are all intelligence bats. I mean, this gives us some... Again, if we'd had access to these earlier on, some chance for our darkness spell to actually land would have been nice. Hard to be excited about it now, but I'll take the stats whenever I get them, right? But I guess if you didn't grind to 45 like I had to, there would be a little bit more time to get some value out of them, but whatever. It is what it is. What's done is done. I maybe grinded higher than I needed to, but I also still died like 4 times in Ice Cave today, right? So I was really exhausted with Ice Cave. Hopefully I caught them all. If I missed one, you know, whatever. Next up will be Earth Cave. We'll get our weird sword that we probably will never use. The one that lets you lifesteal 100% of your damage. To be honest, at high levels, the lifesteal is actually pretty decent, I think. So there you go. Our stats are already looking... Like, luck went from like 20 or 17 to 43. 43 is actually pretty decent, you know? So suddenly our run chance and ambush chance go, you know, way better. And not that vitality is going to change much, but intelligence is up. Our stats, as soon as you start collecting bats, start looking pretty solid. There is a guide somewhere on the Discord as well that's like, there's this many bats, and which dungeons have them. I'm pretty sure it's just the waterfall, marsh, and earth, and then the there's a lot in earth, but the 5 special bats at the end. Or the beginning, however you want to look at it. It is a time loop after all. But yeah, imagine getting all this vitality at like level 12, 20, somewhere in that teen range. That would have felt pretty good. And you would have to take some extra fights, you know, like these are not... This second floor of Earth isn't too scary, but this is, I would say, nearly free vitality if you got it early on, but that's okay. You do have to beat Astos and everything to get here. It's not like you're just walking here at level 1. Oh, there's a bat in here. Huh. Oops. But yeah, unfortunately, our vitality growth, we're definitely not maximizing our HP this run. Because there's like, well, let me look it up while I'm just rambling on here. Guides, where's the bat list? Someone has a list of all the bats. There's all the bats. There are a total of 23 points of vitality from bats. So that's, if you could get it at like level, I don't know, what, the waterfall was bats, but let's just assume you get them at a low level. If you could get plus 23 vitality, that's 5 HP per level. Maybe for 40 level ups-ish. What did I say? 5 times 40? That's like 200 HP. We could be over 800 HP right now. If we got all the vitality bats early on. That would feel pretty good. I think if you actually stat maxed on a Dark Knight, it would be a pain. But because of the bats, I actually think they'd have the highest average stats. The highest possible stats, actually. Because theoretically, you could get 1 to every stat, every level up. It would just be terrible. And then you'd get plus 23 strength, plus 15 agility, plus 14 intelligence, plus 23 vitality, and plus 24 luck from bats. Which no one else gets. But getting the perfect level ups would be really hard. It's a 1 in 4 chance per stat, and we have level ups with 0 stat gains. So 1 in 4 to the power of 5. That's a pretty small number to get every single stat. So I definitely wouldn't be going for that without some kind of cheat engine or something that could force it. But I feel like getting 1 stat or 2 stats that you want on a level up, not too bad. It, you know, 2 stats that you want is a 1 in 16 chance, and that's getting pretty slow for general purpose resetting without save states or anything. And then getting 3 that you want is a 1 in 64. And that's like a not even 2% chance. That's getting really crazy lucky. So, not a huge fan of that. And then after 1 in 64, it's 1 in 256. And then basically 1 in 1,000. So yeah, getting all 5 is something like 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,024, I expect, would be the exact number. That's too much, you know. You don't want to do a level up 1,000 times to have a somewhat decent chance of getting your perfect level up. But I'm just saying, like, in theory, you could take your starting stats, get 49 level ups of perfect values. That's what everybody could get at maximum. And then we would also get all these bats. And we would have crazy stats. They do depend on their starting stats. Some characters might have better, like, level 1 stats than others. So the Dark Knight, what is he looking at? He starts at 16 strength, 5 agility, 5 intelligence, 10 vitality, and 4 luck. Pretty low, I would say, for starting stats. But in theory, right, 16 strength, you could get 49 from level ups, and you could just focus on strength. If you didn't want to get them all, it would be fine. You could get like 2 stats up to max. What'd I say? 16 plus 49 is 55, 65. And then how many bats were there? There are 23 strength bats. So that would be 65 plus 23, 88 strength. I think that's as high as anyone could possibly get. And that would be plus 44 damage on top of whatever your weapon was. You could get... I think the best greatsword has 60 damage. So you could get over 100 base damage on a Death Knight, I think. I guess the Massa has like 55 too, but I think our greatswords go a little bit higher. I forget the exact values, but... Some more... What are these guys? Agility bats? Oh, yeah. This might be the only floor with agility bats. Or... I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter, but we need it. But yeah, after this, we should feel considerably better. Our luck is already, like, doubled. So I think even now our run chance is probably, like, fine. Isn't that crazy? I really should try to find the formula for run. Because, obviously, it's 100% if you get a preemptive. So luck applies the run chance kind of double, I think. Where you're more likely to get a preemptive, which gives you a free run. And you're more likely to actually escape when it's not a preemptive, which is also good. There's a lot of bats on this floor. And I mean, it's just funny that you get the stats from it, because the number of bats is the same as it was in the NES. There's always been like 100 bats. It's just now you get like that many stat ups out of it, which is pretty cool. I mean, for the Dark Knight at least. I think I read that if you bring 2 Dark Knights, only the lead one gets them. So this is a really bad class to bring 2 of. Because then you can't... Like, one of them is going to be terrible stats, basically. Stat bats. We should rename them. Okay, is that all the stat bats on this floor? I think. As always, you can leave angry comments when I inevitably miss a bat somewhere. There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to math it out, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's, you know, 1 stat up is not. Maybe you could get a shuffler that randomizes where the bats are. That'd be kind of funny. If you have a Dark Knight, start with the Consume Bat ability at level 1, but shuffle them across the entire map. So every dungeon has, like, you have the same total number of bats, but they're shuffled across every map in the game. So you might find one in Chaos' Shrine, or a couple. You might find a couple in Dwarf Cave. You might find a couple in Marsh. Well, there'll still be some in Marsh, but not as many. And just split them around the entire map. That'd actually be pretty fun. Little bat hunting mini game. And it might randomize. That'd be kind of interesting. And you still get the total stats, but you'd be doing it as you played through the game rather than backtracking like this. I think that'd be way better, like, for an engaging mechanic. And by splitting them up, they wouldn't block the path as often in Earth Cave. The dungeons that have the bats, mostly Earth, they get in the way and, you know, cause problems. So theoretically, we got all our bats. I don't know. Clearly, our stats improved significantly. Intelligence probably gets the smallest boost, but that's fine. Honestly, compared to Fighter now, our stats are godly. But level 46 with a lot of bats. Oh, there are 5 more, right. It's always worth getting the Vitality bats before you do this. And if you were stat maxing, you want max Vitality for this as well. Because the higher your Vitality, the more you get here. 20 plus a 1 to 6. So you could just say 21 to 26 plus your Vitality. Or 1/4 of your Vitality, sorry. So it's kind of like 5 big level ups. So we're still at over 800, and we're going to get 12 HP. I mean, I could get a vitality up when I get to 47. We got level 47, 48, 49, 50. 4 level ups. We get a minimum of 48. Well, I guess it's 12 from vitality. Sorry, it's 11 from vitality for sure. And then 1 to 6. So at least one more. So minimum would be, yeah, 12 times 4, 48. That'll put us around 860 minimum. And depending on getting a vitality up and a couple good rolls, we might crack 900. I think if you got those vitality bats earlier, you could easily over 900, close to 999. But if we level up to 46 before you get the bats, it's not going to happen. Okay, the other level 4 spell's garbage. How are we doing? 48 minutes? Let's get our level 8 spells, I guess. It's not really that important, but I might as well pick them up. Should have done this when I was here, I forgot. Because money is no issue, right? Right. I have to actually go to Lefane. We're gonna get the worst one. I would love to find a way to make this final Dark Knight spell not garbage. But I have a pretty bad feeling that there's not really any way to salvage it. So, all those bats do make us deal a lot more damage, you know? For a Soul Eater. All that HP, you know? So, like, if you could get to 999, your Soul Eater would do... You would take 20% of that. You take 200 damage. But I bet you'd be doing, like, nuke level damage. Or something around there. And that would be pretty awesome. I mean, you'd be level 50, so sure. And to be fair, nuke level damage isn't all that impressive in Renaissance. We can do a lot more than nukes for one shot. Unfortunately, the final spell basically just adds Death Elemental instant KO. Thing is, we already deal Death Elemental instant death. It's called 1000 damage. And a lot of things just resist death anyway. Or undead anyway. It's really hard to imagine when that would be useful. Like, if you're doing a low-level challenge, you're not going to do as much damage with your physical attack. But you're probably not going to have the spell slots to cast it. I don't know when these unlock for Dark Knight or Death Knight. I think you need to be promoted as well, but it doesn't matter too much. Let's see how much of water we can do today. Oh, right, I do need to do my side quest. What would be good for dealing a lot of damage, but I can heal off of? Something alive that does some damage, but not enough to kill me. That I can Dread Spikes and then use Blood Weapon to heal a bit. Because I need to take 1000 damage. And not die. I think I need one more level up. Yeah. And the Coral Sword will feel really good. Well, let's go deal with the mermaids first. That'll probably get us a level up. And then I can think about how to do my side quests. I did get a preemptive strike, I think. But whatever. Let's just blast them. I mean, it's already nuke level damage, right? That's pretty good. So if you have the heal potions or the patience to use Blood Weapon, we can sweep pretty darn well. I suppose, actually, the Opal Armor is an upgrade here. Ghosts. I do have defense available. They're just so immune to most of my stuff. Yeah, I think just attacking was the play. Our level is just so out of control. Double ghost fights, that's rude. Yeah, we better heal up. There's no way we get 3 ghost fights in a row, right? I can do some HP stealing, right? Sure. Surely the snakes won't run away. or kill me instantly. 1200 damage. Yeah, we got that level up, right? Or did we? Wait. Oh yeah, we did get the level up. Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, 5 attacks is 128. And technically the Coral Sword is stronger than Cobalt, so we got plus 3 damage for a little bit less crit. But then we're doing bonus damage to the watery enemies, so should feel pretty good. There's our big armor upgrade. Never mind. Don't know why we can't equip Opal armor. That's kind of dumb. Not sure I agree with that. I think we can equip Dragon armor, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. The Light Axe, I don't care. Well, I'm not getting the fights I want to heal up in battle. And if I don't heal up now, you know, we dead. Okay, we'll bring the Mage Staff. I don't think the Wizard Staff is worth much. Money doesn't matter. Here we go. Some free heals. So there is something a little bit funky with how you steal HP. I think it's like half of the damage you deal up to the maximum HP of the monster. But it's kind of weird because like if a monster has 100 hit points and you deal 100 damage, you heal 50. But if you deal 150 damage, you heal 75. I think. Which seems weird to me that it works like that, but like it's not a big deal, it just seems weird. I guess strictly speaking, this is a temporary upgrade. Because we can't equip the Opal, this is Flame Armor with no evade penalty. So our evade is actually really good. 45. There's nothing else in here that the Death Knight needs. I mean, chances are we can't equip the helmet or the glove. Yeah, if you can't equip the armor, then why could you equip... Something about opals, he just hates them. I guess they're too shiny. Ooh, should I have a giant crab boss in here when I do my D&D campaign for Final Fantasy 1? You guys know the one from Moana. The BlueAnkylo loves the song for I can't remember the name of the song, but you know, the sparkly crab guy. It's pretty cool. Turns colors in the dark. Could have an optional shiny boss with all the opal. He's just guarding all the opal armor. Could see that. Could be fun. I don't even think I leave. Usually I would go and save, but there's nothing that can stop us in here, right? Let's just go get the power glove and beat up on the Kraken. Like I said, I kind of regret being at a crazy level like this because it kind of undoes a lot of the challenge of a challenge run, but hey, I gave the Ice Cave an honest effort. It's not my fault that after 45 minutes of attempts, however many that was, we never even got halfway, right? So I grinded off camera a little bit, and honestly, I did most of it on camera, to be honest. I didn't even spend very long between episodes. Sharks! Oh, I guess we're at full HP. It's like good targets for life stealing because they got a lot of HP. I will say our basic damage is getting completely out of control. This is like more than Excalibur damage, I think. Okay, let's just delete them. If I get a turn. Yeah, I haven't seen us do 400 damage yet, but it's pretty close to a vanilla nuke, I think. That's why it wouldn't matter if you give him Bio 3. Because we already have... We got 0 stats. Yeah. If we got like Bio 3 around here, which did like 120 or 140 poison, it still wouldn't even be as good as his life sacrifice attack. Power Glove, though, he can equip it. Sure. It doesn't make big difference, but I might drop the Zeus's Glove after I'm done this dungeon, because I won't need the lightning too much. Even now, do I need the lightning? It's kind of pointless. I think we finish this dungeon up and get our slab and stuff, and then I pick an enemy to try to do our side quest, because not that I need more damage, but you know, the final side quest does give us more damage. Really? It's hogs. You better run. There, 412. Technically more than a vanilla nuke. Does that skill scale on your stats at all, or is it just HP? It just says proportionate with the amount of HP sacrificed. I think I practiced it before in when we did our all-fighter party. I think I practiced a bit, because we started promoted on that one, I think. And my guess was it was HP, like 10 as a base, plus the amount of HP was the spell power, and it was like that range times 2. So if that still works, 20% of 856, whatever that is, plus 10, and then that to double that is the range, I think. So 20% should be... I mean, it's got to be close to that. We did do over 400 damage, though, which makes me think maybe that's not quite correct. I'm not sure. Either way, when we're attacking for over 1,000, those kind of discussions are kind of silly. Not amazing. They are blind, though, so we should do even... We should have done more damage? Oh, it's because they're not weak to our sword, I guess, right? They're not actually aquatic, technically. They're elemental. Maybe that was the difference. I guess there has to be some other bonuses besides plus 8 damage. The effective weapons they gotta have something else in there. Anyway, let's what do I want to do? Do I want to try anything? What do you think the chances are of just basic dark work? No. Let's go non-elemental blind works, and then just attack. We're almost dead. Good thing we didn't die, because I would have had to redo the whole dungeon. The Kraken doesn't always just smack like that. Sometimes it uses some skills. Anyway, that worked out. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're almost out of time. I couldn't tell if the number was 38 or 58, but that's just old man BlueAnkylo's eyesight starting to dim. We still have enough time to do our little turn-ins, and I would like to do the quest. What should we fight? We can bind it so it doesn't run away. Definitely needs to be non-undead. What's the opposite of undead? Alive? But it's like undead. Non-dead. Just living. Although, what's the opposite of undead? Might be dead. Not sure what I'm going to do with that one. Alright, undead. At least they run away. 1,600 damage. Sheesh. It's a lot of damage. You can either get killed by the nuke or survive the nuke to get, like, basically deleted from existence. Disintegrated, basically. And unfortunately, everything running away means I can't even, I can't even use my blood weapon to heal. I guess we could try bind. Wait, does that have priority? It should have priority, come on. If you're trying to prevent enemies from running away, you should cast the spell at the beginning of combat. Not, you know, if you get a turn. What if you're trying to fight the mighty T-Rex to capture it for your Beastmaster, and you use the bind, but it still escapes before you can actually get a turn, you know? That would be just brutal. Alright, so I think... Let me look at my weapon list. There is a one last Buster Sword up in the Flying Castle. But other than that, we've got about as good as we're going to get. We could make an argument to switch from Coral to Cobalt, or sorry, Onyx. It does do a little bit more damage once we're out of, like, we're not fighting aquatic enemies anymore. And we're actually at the correct level for it. So it turns out now is the time. Because the hit percent doesn't matter, and we get max crit, max damage, and still 5 attacks. So, if that's what matters to you, we get all that. I still haven't found a good enemy to grind against. Maybe it's just like red ankylos? I know. I just need the 1,000 damage quest. I mean, one T-Rex, it'll get there eventually, right? If it doesn't get to escape. Yeah. So we definitely do not have priority on bind. I mean, these guys hit pretty hard. I want a bit more spicy. 2 that's a bit more spicy. Okay, bind. Good. And then I need them to hit me a bit. I can't kill them, right? They're trying to run. Oh. Okay, we took 130. It's on really high speed, 120. Let's throw the limit on. See how this works. I don't really know how this works. I know we're at about an hour, but let's see if we can see what this actually does. Come on, Ankylos. Hit me. Hit me. Okay. So they dealt 138 damage. Are they just gonna kill themselves without me taking enough, though? I mean, I guess it's good they're not attacking very often. I could be drinking potions, but... Okay, they do die to spikes. So... But now the spikes are off. And that was enough. Okay, that worked. That was easy. I thought I'd have to do some draining or something, but... Turns out 2 Ankylos is enough at high HP to just dread spike your way through it. Which means if you're at a lower level, it probably would still work, but... Come on, can't even run from nachos. Who would run from nachos? I guess they're too delicious. Gotta get that XP. That sweet, sweet XP. This'll definitely kill them all, nothing to worry about. Puts me in, like, emergency HP value, but that's okay. That's the whole point of this ability we're about to learn. Now, we do bonus damage when we're nearly dead. I don't know how much. It says proportionately, so we are at 10%-ish. Does that mean we do 90% bonus damage? Maybe for science, we use like a tent, a cabin. We're pretty low. See how much damage we swing at? What do you think? Feels like normal. but it's hard to say with all the crits. Save again. Unfortunately, I didn't have any tents, so we feel a bit too much. Ankylos. 2,600 damage. That's a bit better than normal. But then again, 1,300 on the next one, so it's mostly crits. T-Rex. I mean, 1,300. It kind of feels like we're a black belt right now, you know? I think our damage output might even exceed the value of a level 50 black belt. It's kind of insane. Especially given that it's only 5 attacks. But that's it. We're level 50. We got over 900. Without any stat maxing. I never once reset for gains on a level up. That's where my stats ended. And I think we're very, very strong. I guess next episode we'll do the Mirage and Flying Fortress. There's not much point fighting anything anymore, but just for showing off purposes, I suppose. I'm going to speed the battle up a little bit higher for the last battle, the last dungeon, but solo mode, obviously, is just how it goes. I will go buy some heal potions and stuff between now and next episode. But however Misery works, it definitely makes a difference. It's good to have, but you probably shouldn't be running around at low HP on a solo challenge. You're just kind of asking for it. Unless you have a way to guarantee you go first. You run around at low HP, you're going to get just killed. So I guess tents are kind of nice to save it if you want to, you know, attack while nearly dead, I guess. Anyway, I do still need to pick up, I guess the dragon armor is better. So we'll pick up the dragon armor if we can equip it. And there's not much else. One more sword that may or may not be worth it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was thinking I don't really care about the Zeus's. We're going to have the Thor's hammer in a minute anyway, so I'll take the 2 more absorb here and slightly less evade penalty. 46% evade is actually pretty good, so we actually dodge reasonably well as the high armor. Although that will go down with the dragon armor. We're going to trade some evade for some absorb, but that's okay, that's okay. Anyway, let's end the episode here. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you guys have enjoyed. This might be our first run where we got to level 50. I can't remember, but it's not that we needed to defeat Chaos. We just needed it to survive Ice. And even then, we didn't need it. It just, I got frustrated. So it was very easy. So we're level 50 now. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.